Greetings, welcome back. This is Queen Elle of QueenElle79, and as the title of this video states, I'm doing something a bit differently for the month of July for my astrological spiritual messages. The month of July, I decided to divide my messages among the 4 elements of the zodiac signs, those being earth, air, water, and fire. So if you have a sun, moon, or rising sign, that is, we're doing air signs now, then stick around and I'll be happy to be of service to you and give you a message from the spirit guides, okay? Now, as you all know, I'm always looking at my planner. I have my Yerba Santa burning and it is in full force tonight. Tonight is 15 days past Juneteenth, and we're actually having a full moon tonight as well as a penumbral lunar eclipse. Now, if you haven't checked out my penumbral lunar eclipse video from last month, we also had one for the month of June, so please feel free to check out that video wherever that will pop up. And that's where I go into a bit more information with regard to what that means. But we're having another one tonight, so definitely check that out. If you live in the southern hemisphere of the world, you'll be able to see it a bit more vividly, a bit more noticeably. But if you're in the northern hemisphere of the world like I am, we will see a bit of a shadow from the earth on the moon, just because of our placement in between the moon and the sun, but it won't be as prominent as if you were in the southern hemisphere. Okay, now this message, I did just want to give a bit of insight with regard to planetary transits and aspects that will take place that will directly affect the air signs. This is for the sun, moon, and rising of air signs, the air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. My planner always keeps me honest. So again, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, if you have a sun, moon, or rising sign in one of those zodiacs, then this message is for you. And if you're not familiar with your moon sign or your rising or ascendant sign, please feel free to ask me and I can give you some information. You can always use your search engine to look up some additional information. You will need to have your the time that you were born, and you can get that on your official birth record, your birth certificate. You'll see the time you were born. When people refer to their zodiac sign, just in general, they're typically referring to their sun sign, which is the placement of the sun at the day that they were born. But to identify your moon and your ascendant or rising sign, as well as all of the placements that you have for the other planets, you will need to know that time of birth, okay? Now, I'm also burning one of my intention candles. This is my aromatherapy relaxation intention candle. If you are not familiar with my Etsy shop, it is queenellestore.etsy.com. Again, that's queenellestore.etsy.com. I will provide a link down in the description box, and definitely feel free to check out my shop. I have all natural soy candles as well as all natural body products. So if you feel so inclined to support my shop and make a purchase, I would be most appreciative. This one in particular, like I said, it's our aromatherapy relaxation intention candle, and it is an all natural soy candle, which means that it has a clean burn. It doesn't emit any toxins into the atmosphere, so you're not inhaling any type of toxins. And most of the commercial candles that you can buy on the market, they are made from usually paraffin wax, because it's the easiest wax to work with. It absorbs scent easier than the other types of waxes that you can use for candles, and it emits more of a scent. So it overall is more aesthetically pleasing. So that's just the option that a lot of commercial candles, those makers, that's what they go for. It's just the easier option. However, paraffin is a toxin, and it's toxic to inhale it. So it's definitely not the way to go if you're trying to live the holistic route and to be natural. It's not healthy for you or the environment. So this is all natural soy, which makes it a vegan candle. And like I said, it has a clean burn. Because the candle's lit, I can't really show you. I have herbs on the candle and throughout the candle. And those herbs for this particular candle, they are herbs that have properties and are known for those properties of clearing your space, clearing any unwanted or negative energy, and I call the candle Free Your Mind, and it's really all about just that, freeing your mind. So without further ado, let's dive into this video. Like I said, this is specific to the air signs, so that's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but it's your sun, moon, and rising. So you can have a sun sign that's a water sign, but if your moon sign or rising or ascendant sign are in the air elemental quality of Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, then you're here at the right place. So just to start off, just know that at the beginning of the month, specifically the first of the month, and that energy is still flowing because those planetary transits are still taking place, that your purpose is directly aligned with your intuition and innovation. So we have Sun conjunct Mercury in Cancer, and Mercury is all about your interaction with others, your communication. Sun is all about your purpose. So when the Sun is in a conjunct relationship, that's a beneficial working relationship. So as long as you actually stay in tune to that connection with the energy of that other transit. And as long as you work well with them, it's a good working relationship. Just know that your purpose will be aligned with your intuition. So tap into your intuition right now at this beginning part of July, okay? Now next, we also have the Sun in Cancer, sextile Uranus in Taurus. Now a sextile relationship, it's another positive relationship. It involves a bit more work as far as how the energies blend together, but it's definitely a positive relationship. And this is all about your inspiration being aligned with your purpose. So we have your inspiration and your intuition being aligned with your purpose at the beginning of this month. Okay. Also, Saturn retrograde. So we have several retrogrades. Feel free to check out my videos from last month with regard to the retrogrades we have taking place right now. Saturn retrograde enters Capricorn as well. So like I said, it's all about your purpose and your intuition being aligned, okay, as well as that innovation at the beginning of the month. Now, then we move towards the 8th. So we're halfway between the 1st and the 8th right now. We have this full moon taking place. There's a lot of strong energy with regard to tapping into your hidden self, that shadow self. It could be the part of you that you suppress and you're, not really aware of it yourself, or it could just be the part of yourself that you hide from everyone else other than maybe your inner circle, or even just everyone. You may hide a certain part of yourself from everyone, all of your loved ones, and you may just keep it to yourself. So it's important to know that with the full moon, tap into that energy. Do some journaling, do some meditating, air signs. So we tend to, the air signs go with the flow a bit depending on the situation, so you can be very adaptable, but it's important to stay true to yourself and to do some self-care right now. Do some work within yourself, okay? Now, on the 8th, we will be met with some conflict. Now, the 8th, we have Mercury in Cancer. So again, Mercury is all about our communication, but it's square Mars in Aries. Now, Mars is all about how you interact with others. So Mercury is more about communication. Mars is directly related to how we interact with others. Mars in Aries. Aries is kind of like that fiery energy, being a fire sign. Cancer is what Mercury is in, and Cancer is more compassionate, more intuitive, but definitely more emotional and sensitive. But those two transits, they are square each other. That's a direct conflict, okay? So just know that you will experience some type of conflict with others around the 8th. So it's important to see it for what it is, put it into perspective, and to not necessarily immediately react to it or take it personally. You will feel like taking it personally because it will kind of hurt your feelings, this conflict. But just know that, not to take it personally, because it's almost like the stars are aligned for it to happen, and there's a lesson to be gleaned from it. So definitely try to stay true to yourself, practice that self-care so that you are able to kind of see it for what it is, and to just glean from it the lesson that you need to learn, and then release everything else. Okay. Next, we move on. We have a few other transits throughout the middle of the month, like Chiron retrograde in Aries, which is taking place on the 11th. And that's all about self awareness and acceptance. So, again, that's staying true to yourself again. That's becoming self aware. It's all about, accepting who you are. And like I said, there are things that we may suppress from ourselves as well as everyone else. And it's important to do the work, meditate, like I said, journal, start a yoga practice if you're so inclined to do so, but do the work to really figure out who you are, and especially with this new world that we're in right now, it's important to figure out what your needs are and to nurture those needs, nurture yourself, okay? Practice that self-care and that wellness and that holistic living right now, because this is the time to do so. It's always been time, but it's like we're being thrust into that time right now. So go with it and accept it, but stay true to yourself, okay? So that's, and Chiron, if you're not familiar, is known as the wounded healer. And so it's important to heal those wounds within you. Any type of, it could be, like I said, suppressed, but any part of yourself that you have chosen not to address or not to work on within yourself, or you've cast it aside or said, I'm sure I'm fine. I don't even need to worry about that anymore. I'm not tripping off of that. It's important to know that you must heal from every aspect of your life. We all must heal. So tap into that energy and do the work, okay? Don't keep putting it off. So that's the middle of the month. Now we have, and also another big one is on the 12th, Mercury goes direct in Cancer. So we've had Mercury retrograde taking place over the past several weeks. And as of July 12th, Mercury will go direct again. So what that means is Mercury will be back, in alignment with its own orbit the way that it had been going before the retrograde. And any type of break in communication that you've experienced, any type of conflict, like I said, like on the 8th, that's just the tail end of Mercury retrograde. See it for what it is and release it. Let it go. And then come Mercury going direct on July 12th, you will see, feel some of that tension and that pressure alleviating, and you'll be able to move forward as you were, okay? So then we have on the 22nd, so we have, Mercury going direct in the middle of July, and then starting on the 22nd, we have, we have the Sun entering Leo. We also have Mercury in Cancer, sextile Uranus in Taurus. Now that's all about your originality, your independence. That sextile relationship, like I said, it's a working relationship, but it's so beneficial, okay? So Mercury, like I said, is all about how you interact with other people with regard to your communication. And then we have Uranus in Taurus. Now Taurus is about your creativity. So this is all about your originality and your independence. So it's important, work with that energy, be you, stay true to yourself. Once you have done some of the work in the early part of the month with regard to figuring out who you are, what your needs are, what your true needs are, then you can move on into now being original, being independent, standing in your truth, stepping into who you are and really owning it, not just hoping and wishing that you could do it, but actually doing it, being about it. Not just talking the talk, walk the walk. So cliche, but it's so true. And this is the time to do it, okay? So tap into that energy. So that's the 22nd. Now, I will tell you towards the end of the month, we still have some retrogrades going on. So it's like bear with the universe, So we have on the 27th, we have Venus and Gemini square Neptune and Pisces. Now that square relationship, that's that conflict, okay? So Venus and Gemini, Venus is all about the things we enjoy, the things we love, okay? And that being square Neptune and Pisces, there's going to be some disappointment in our loving relationships, in the things that we enjoy, some disillusionment there as well. So like I said before, you can recognize it, you can identify it, almost put it on a calendar if you'd like, so that you can see it, so that when it comes and it rears its little ugly head, that you're like, I see you for what you are. I see you for what this is. I know this is the universe, coming into, this sort of alignment. It's like the stars were aligned. I see what's going on here, but it's important to note that you need to just, like I said, learn from whatever you need to learn from, glean that lesson, and then cast off the rest of it, release the rest of it, brush it off. Okay. Also, Mercury and Cancer, there's Mercury, that communication again. And at this time, it's square Mars and Aries. So remember, I told you that square relationship is a conflict. It's directly conflicting with the way you communicate, is conflicting with how you interact with others. So there's a conflict there, a direct conflict. And this will have some sort of finger pointing, some sort of overbearing energy taking place. And it's important not to give in to that. Okay, you don't have to involve yourself in every conflict. You don't have to participate in every conflict. Conflict can come your way directly, but you don't have to react to it the way that you're being baited to react to it. Okay, so don't take the bait. That's what I'm going to say. Now, that's how we wrap up this month. But again, like I said, stay true to yourself. Stay true to who you really are on the inside. You don't have to own or embrace the negativity. You don't have to embrace being, the one that's always inserting themselves in some type of mess. You can step aside, be on the outside looking in, and see it for what it is. And you can lend advice if someone is asking directly for advice. You don't have to instigate, though. You don't have to be a part of the mess. Okay? So let me sit this down, have a message, pardon me. Okay, now I'm going to just tap into another additional layer of the message from the spirit guides using my Modern Witch Tarot deck. If you have not checked out my unboxing video for this deck, it's a few months back, but please feel free to do that. This deck is all about diversity and inclusion, and I love it. There's all women on the cards, and also just a lot of different ethnicities and just different types of women, and I'm all for it. So I've already shuffled this deck. I just like to kind of go over it a little bit more and just ask the spirit guides directly. What message do you have, spirit guides, for the air signs? What message do you have for the air signs? That's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What message do you have for the air signs, spirit guides? What message do you have? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's for the month of July, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What message do you have for the spirit, from the spirit guides? What message do you have for them? Okay, let's cut the deck. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay. Now the first card is the Seven of Cups. Now, cups are all about our emotions. They're all about just our feelings. And the Seven of Cups specifically, this is about having a multitude of emotions. It's about being emotional about multiple things. There are a lot of different things going on, a lot of gears moving, a lot of things in place right now, air signs. So, like I told you, you're, kind of embarking on some shadow work this month. If you really take the message from the spirit guides seriously and act on it, you'll be working on that shadow work and really kind of tuning into who you really are. And it will be a journey. It will be an emotional journey. And you will tap into a lot of things that you either had completely suppressed from yourself, or things that you just, intentionally blocked out because you're just like, I don't want to have to deal with that. So it is an emotional journey, and there will be a lot of different aspects of, your emotional stores that you're having to tap into. And I'm here to tell you it's okay. It will be a journey, but you'll be so much better for it in the long run, okay? I can assure you of that. It's for your better good. Now, instead, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Pentacles, that's all about your security, your stability. The Pentacles could be directly tied to power, to wealth, to your finances. And the Nine of Pentacles, it's all about cultivation. It's all about seeing the fruits of your labor. It's all about reaping what you've sown. And in the literal sense, in the figurative sense as well, because this is directly tied to your finances, it's important to know and to see that the hard work that you've put forth, it is paying off. It will continue to pay off. You have to keep on sowing those seeds. You have to continue to put forth the work and the energy and the effort into your endeavors, but you will see them pay off, okay? Now, next we have strength. So this is here to tell you your spirit guides, they have got you. You have a certain level of strength within you, air signs, but also know that the spirit guides, they're there to pick up the slack, to be strong in any area that you feel weakness, to be there to support you as you go on through this journey. It could be directly related to that emotional journey that you'll be going on, but just know that the strength is there. The strength is within you and it's around you as well, okay? Then we have the Nine of Cups. Now, this is that boss energy because now you're starting to own that emotional state. You're reaching like a level of status, a certain stature about you with regard to your level of confidence when it comes to your emotions, being able to keep your composure under pressure. Like I said, when you're met with some sort of resistance or conflict, it's important not to be so reactive that you feel like you have to just, give in and take the bait, and you have to act on, any type of negative things that you would like to do or say. You don't have to. So to be like the master of your emotions means to not be so reactive and not take the bait when somebody's throwing something at you or, egging you on. But it's important to kind of embody a sense of confidence within you and a sense of control, some self-control. So practice self-control with regard to your endeavors, with regard to your daily interactions with other people, so that you can be the master of your emotions, okay? Now, lastly, we have the Ace of Wands. Now, the Wands, that's all about your creativity. It's all about, any sort of endeavors that you have. You know how I talked about at the beginning of the month, there's that purpose aligning with your innovation, with your intuition, also that originality and independence as we're wrapping up the month. It's all directly related to your ideals. It's directly related to your creativity. And just know that this Ace of Wands, this is some new energy. So like I said, starting with July 12th onward, embarking on any type of new type of endeavor, tapping into your that creative energy, that originality, that independence, what makes you uniquely yourself. Just know that this Ace of Wands, this is that new creative energy. So it's important to embody that, to stay true to yourself, and to also embark on that endeavor that you've been thinking about doing. Now is the time, and things are all fresh and new around us. The world is becoming fresh and new. It's purging a lot of negative energy, and now things are starting fresh and things will be anew. So it's important to tap into that energy as well. Now, one more thing before I let you go, I have my energy oracle deck. So if you haven't seen my unboxing video for this one, please feel free to check that out. I will link that above now. But I would like to see just if there's like an additional layer that the spirit guides would like us to have with regard to for the air signs for the month of July. Okay, so let's see. Spirit guides, what additional message do you have for our air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of July. Additional message that you have for our air signs, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of July. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of July. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the first card I have is Yin Yang. So we know that the Yin and Yang theory, if you're not aware, it's all about working together for a sense of unity, for a sense of collaboration. It's about like a dual-sided, a dual-sided effort. So it's both sides of a coin working together to your own greater good, to your own benefit. You know how I was talking about with the full moon being tonight, how it's all about tapping into that part of ourselves that we have not um, really tuned into or tapped into. When you start to tap into that energy, I tell you what, you will reach the level of satisfaction, the level of fulfillment that you're seeking. There's a part of you that you haven't tapped into, and that is where things are being held up. If you feel like stifled in any way, if you feel like you're not reaching the certain level of status that you would like to, and you're wondering what the holdup is, this is the holdup. The holdup is not tapping into yourself. You might feel like, okay, no, I know myself, I'm tapping into myself, but there is always some part of ourselves that we have either cast away because we felt like, okay, that's not relevant. You know, it could be a parent. I'm feeling like a parent who um, maybe abandoned you when you were younger or was never around or just might have physically been there but wasn't really emotionally available or present, wasn't really there to nurture you in any way. It's important to note that while it's easy for us to just brush things off and say, well, it didn't matter anyway, or I was better off, without them. But that is something that will still affect you in some shape or fashion, whether you realize it or not. So that's just one example, but any area of your life that is kind of out of alignment. So it's important to do some work on your chakras to make sure that they are aligned as well. Those are the different aspects of yourself, 1 through 7, that you need to really, keep aligned. And, it's important to do the work, meditate, journal, do the shadow work to really tap into every aspect of yourself to make sure that things are aligned. That's what this card is about. Then we have strategy. So this strategy card, it's saying that there are things in your life that you really need to be strategic about. So when you are thinking about, like I said, that Ace of Wands energy, those new creative endeavors, it's important to be strategic, to calculate all of your moves. So, we talk about how it's, chess, not checkers. So it's important to not be reactive, like I was saying, but to actually be strategic in the way that you move and to be calculated, to think a few steps ahead before you make that first step. Don't, it's like I feel like this happens to me sometimes. My third eye is itching. So it's important to again, think a few steps ahead, not just the next move or the move after that, but think several steps ahead. Think about the chain reaction that will occur by the initial steps that you take. Think about how things are like dominoes. And so you have to, if you were planning out a set of dominoes so that you could have them cascade in a certain way. When people do that, they're not thinking about the first few that they can see or the first path. They literally have to plan out the whole thing in order to start that first one. And like I said, it's a journey, but it's important to be strategic about the role you play in your life's journey and the steps that you take. Okay. Now, the last card that I pulled, the last energy card, is this is caring connections. And so it's important, like I said, you will be met with some sort of resistance. You will have some sort of conflict with regard to your loving relationships, with regard to how you communicate directly with others. So it's important to, this is almost, mind over matter. There may be things that may come your way, but you don't have to automatically give into it like, yep, that's what the spirit guide says is going to happen. That's what the card says. So I guess this is just it. This is my conflict time. I have to, give into it. No, you don't. Just because you're being met with this sort of resistance or this sort of clash or conflict, you can see it for what it is, and then you have the power. You are in control of yourself. You're the master of your own destiny. You have the power to make the decision and the choice to operate in a certain way, to handle it in a certain way. I hear fireworks outside, so if you hear any noise, that's what that is. But anyway, you have control over how the situation goes, at least from your side of things. You can't control other people. You can certainly control yourself, okay? So embrace these caring connections. Be the one to initiate and to establish that caring connection with others, with your loved ones, okay? So that's the message that I have for you all today. It's been such a blessing to be here to share with you, to connect with you, to commune with you. So if you have any questions at all, like I said, please feel free to um, reach out to me directly, either privately or via social media. All of those handles will be in the description box. It's been a pleasure, Ashe. Thank you so much and have a great evening.